Cari amici sportivi, welcome to yet another edition of Red Card Weekly, here where we mostly speak about Serie A bit of European, sometimes a bit of international, and yes, well, we're not professionals, nor do we pretend to be. I'd like to introduce first to my right, Steve. Watching Fiorentina Milan this morning, I didn't really know. But the one thing I'm sure is that Tagliavento stole the show. Polillo? I am, sorry, you know what? You are, Francis, even when Alvarez and Rocky score, I can't even celebrate. Polo Giacomo. And I am Vince. I gotta listen to this guy every week about speculation. So no, Francis, we're not gonna accept your letter of resignation. Tavares.
And I have to admit, guys, this week I'm seriously considering quitting the show. No. You guys, it's gonna be a very hard show to contain myself. I'm gonna try to control my swear words.
Remember, there's some kids out there.
Yes, so I'll try to control myself. But this week, I'm letting you know I'm pissed off.
Get ready, guys. Get ready, because we have to listen to him for the last 20
So
minutes.
you're gonna see there's a pattern in my comments as we lead to the Inter game. Alright, so we'll start with the Juve Pescara game. And Juve won 2-1.
Before you get to the Juve, this segment of the show is brought to you by German superpower Bayern Munich and German super beer Beck's. That's for Juventus. Go ahead.
Alright, so Juve beat Pescara. They totally dominated this game. They created loads of chances.
Yeah.
But the Pescara goalie was unbelievable. And it was one of those games that all the teams have every year. You dominate the game, the ball just won't go in. The other team scores a goal out of nowhere. But
And then what happened, Francis?
when it doesn't go well for Juve, don't worry. The ref comes to the rescue. Not only does he give a call for a weak penalty, it's fine, you want to give the penalty, but you gave a red card for that on top of that. It's a bit outrageous. And that's all I want to say about this game. But Juve played a fantastic game, don't get me wrong.
They haven't got a lot of calls lately, so you can't really blame Juventus. Look, let's look at it this way. It might have been, a 50-50 call. If it was against Napoli, Milan, Inter, it would have been a bit more of a fiasco. It's unfortunate because Pescara, that first half, I really thought is this like the rules of football? Like the goalie was on fire. Is it going to stay 0-0? Is Pescara going to come up with a counterattack? But in the end, whether there was a conspiracy, according to Francis, Juve deserved to win that game. And I think this is the definite Scudetto game, Steve.
Well, the Scudetto game, yeah, but I think they have other things to worry about. I disagree with my two fellow panel members. It's a great game. Juve is supposed to dominate these types of games against Pescara. They are going to Serie B next year. So while Vucinic scores his goal and takes out his shorts,
Le Mutante.
let me remind them that they got their shorts handed to them in the middle of the week by Bayern Munich. And instead of taking out his shorts, he should worry about finishing those goals that they missed, because the game should have been over a long time ago. Not only the saves by the Atalanta keeper, they were not clinical in front of net. Pescara. They were not clinical in front of net, and Bayern Munich won't make them play around the ball, and they're not going to get some miraculous call during the week at home at the Eurostad Juventus.
Exactly.
So they better pick up the pace, and instead of taking out your shorts, which really pissed me off, if I was a Pescara player, I think I would have tackled them.
And it's funny how in Europe, Juve doesn't get the calls. No, there's a pattern being created. Can't fix games in Europe. In Italy, it's a bit easier.
One thing, guys, can we agree that if Vucinic wouldn't have scored off the penalty and had such a great second half, would we have remembered him for? Did you guys see how many misses he had? Like these perfectly played, like a really bad ones. But we'll see if he's going to start against Bayern. I think he has to.
He has no choice. You see what he brings to this.
Yeah, no, definitely.
We'll talk about the little errors done by Signor Conte when we talk about Juve Bayern Munich.
But elsewhere, Fiorentina, Milan, 2-2 this morning. It was a good game. And Milan were winning 2-0. Fiorentina got back in the game, one man down with 2 penalty shots. And the Milan guys are complaining and crying at the end. Oh my God, we didn't get the call. The ref was horrible. It should have been a handball. It should have been a penalty shot for us in the end of the game. Guys, on scan le pompon.
Now you're speaking about le tifose occasionali, because real tifosi like ourselves will say this: the red card to Fiorentina was unmerited. It was a foul, and it was a yellow card merited because there was no intent, according to me. The first penalty shot was unexisting, but the way I looked at it, and Steve is going to agree with me, because of the red card, okay, those ones, washed themselves off.
Great run by Lilich, by the way.
But there was no contact, even though this guy's convinced that there was.
Yes.
The fact of the matter is that Milan fell asleep in the second half, and that's why we let Fiorentina get back into this game. That's my true feelings. Balotelli was nowhere to be found. De Chile didn't have the greatest of game. Montolivo was okay. Montari was just kicking everybody's bum there in the midfield, but
regardless, guys, besides a period 10 minutes, Fiorentina throughout the game was the better team.
no, first half.
And Jovetic even got hurt at halftime. That's another big piece.
That must have been Berlusconi buying the foul and getting the injury, no?
And Pizarro had a bad game. But credit to Fiorentina that fought back, and they're a fun team to watch.
They are a fun team to watch, and I enjoyed the game this morning. Yes, the calls, whatever, we know that they're going to happen in Serie A. We talk about it week in, week out, but it's not an excuse. Balotelli did not generate any chances. A couple of free kicks, not being dangerous on them. Guys, El Shaarawy has to start scoring. Ever since Balotelli made it into the Milan lineup, and he's taken over the team as probably his team. Yes, we talked about it last week that he does a lot off the ball defensively, which doesn't get the praise of someone who scores. But this is El Shaarawy, and he has to start.
But I think the problem is Balotelli likes to come back in that hole and come and ask for the ball. El Shaarawy used to love to run on the wing and cut in. I think Balotelli is occupying that space right now.
Don't create something that's not existing.
You want to talk about creating something? I'll talk about creating something. Remember when you guys made that big story about Cassano Stramaccioni? Look who's starting to have problems at Milan.
Who's having problems?
Mr. Balotelli was caught smoking on the train on the way to Fiorentina.
First of all, there's no proof of that. There's no proof.
Yes, there's proof because he got fined by Milan.
Did you see any official?
It's official. Yeah, it's official. It's official, and Balotelli's not happy about getting fined. I'm just letting you know.
It's okay. What Francis doesn't know is because he probably never took a train in Italy. Everybody smokes on the train in Italy.
Thank you very much. Everybody smokes.
If it's okay, Milan shouldn't have fined him. That's what I'm saying.
When do we get to your team here?
Nah, we're gonna talk about Inter Atalanta, and when I say enough is enough, today I saw the most disgusting thing. Inter were winning 3-1, and I'm sure Milan and Juve are in on this. They told themselves, we're gonna make Inter pay for Calciopoli, because at 3-1, the ref calls a handball. Not even Atalanta knew why the ref whistled for a penalty on Samuel, yet he goes and gives a yellow on Ranocchia. That call changed the whole game. Yes, Inter shouldn't have been in that position of letting Atalanta come back. Inter are a very, very weak team mentally. Anything could change a game. They're very vulnerable, and that invented call totally changed the game. Guys, it's disgusting. I want to throw up. I don't want to watch Serie A anymore. It's becoming a running gag now. And it's funny how when these calls happen, all the Juventini and Milanisti get together and all they're happy. Hey, they're having a party. You guys are sleeping in the same bed.
Okay. When was it to Manchester United against Real Madrid where we said, that foul on Nani, the ball is round, these calls happen. And what did we say? Manchester United wasn't able to adapt, and there was still one goal up. So yes, Francis, you're going to get these calls, and I'll admit, there was no penalty on that. You're still up at home, and you let Atalanta come back into the game. So the reason is because you guys are not up here. So it's not the referee's fault.
But the ref has to take that into consideration. You have
so he's got to take care. You have to take the emotional side of the play.
No, you have to know all these things. You can't call a penalty just to call. And all of a sudden, you know what hurts? It's that Livaja, when he came on, he totally turned that game around. An Inter product on loan at Atalanta totally changed the game. Half-half.
Yeah, I think he's
half-half. No, half-half.
Are you done now?
I'm pissed. I'm just saying, but you say it's every week it's something like that. It's disgusting.
So when you guys were at the beginning of the season, when you guys were on fire,
so were we getting calls?
That's when Berlusconi made the phone call.
Were we getting calls? No. The thing is that
you were still winning.
No, they're doing everything for Milan to get that third Champions League spot. Why? If I'd be a Napoli and Lazio fan, and let me tell you, they're also not happy. They're complaining. I would rather for Lazio and Napoli get that spot, go to Champions League, but the reality of it is that if one team, an Italian team, makes it and has the best chance in Europe, it's Milan. And I'm sure there's something going on behind the scenes because now it's happening every week. It's 2 months, guys. It's 2 months that this is happening week in, week out. Like, I want to barf. I'm not joking. I'm stressed. My blood pressure is going up. And I'm sure I want to say other things, but that's not coming to mind.
You know what?
What?
Is it schizophrenia or bipolarism that you get all these conspiracy? I think you should be on the justice.
Guys, it's not even the fact that I thought Inter has a chance.
You suck.
I don't
you
care.
guys suck, and you're trying to find
But
excuses.
today I've seen it. No, Vince, because I accept that Inter has
When
a
we were sucking, did we ever
suck.
talk about the referee calls?
It
Never.
wasn't because of the ref we're losing. It was because you're bad. And even us, we have a bad team, but we've been getting a lot of calls against. Guys, I could honestly say Ranocchia got fouled for the 3rd time in the box this year. Clearly fouled, no penalty. It's like the ref said, he's a crap player, which he is. He can't foul. It's impossible that he beat his man and he had a chance to score. And he missed the tap in also at the end of the
Maybe
game.
that's a problem that you should be looking at.
Exactly.
Because if Ranocchia is the one who's getting fouled in the box, you're not generating too many chances. And Ranocchia also, it's true, he played with the forces of gravity at the 94th minute where he decided, I'm not going to put the ball in the open net, I'm going to spin the ball backwards so it ends up behind me.
That was pretty bad.
The ref's not going to make that call. You could have tied the game up there and then against Catania. You guys came back, you fought back, and you got. There was
Yeah, but it's not a call that
that
brought us back in the game.
This game today
Guys,
against Inter and Atalanta was lost by the Inter's players who would have no confidence.
is that call-
And that's
Yes,
the
because
problem.
that
That
changes.
is the problem
Is
of
that call that
Scarnaccioni
changes?
and Moratti to fix that problem.
No, that
they
call
didn't
changes.
address
It's too
it
late
at
in
the
the season
transfer
now.
window. The transfer window, they were 0,
That's
0,
Branca,
0.
guys. And
No,
what are you gonna do? Uğur Palacio, he got hurt in training. Casano comes off again, he's hurt.
That's
Guys, we're
but that's
fighting
injury.
injuries.
That's injuries.
Don't even keep on calling these things just to make it worse on us. And I don't even want to get back to Casano. Last week getting tricked on the ball, no fault. It's ridiculous. I'm sick. Anyways, I want to get over it because I'm gonna vomit. I'm gonna quit the show. I'm not joking. Napoli beats Genoa. And Napoli, for the 2nd week in a row,
Cavani misses another penalty.
they missed another penalty, but they look impressive. Very creating chances,
But-
and they're back on form.
You saw the game, Steve. I still find that every time we see Pandev and Cavani together, they seem to, like, 3/4 of the time, it's connecting, it's fine. So
It
it's not-
releases Amsic a bit. I
It
find.
does, but so why is it that we don't see them more often?
Ask Mazzari. They went through a rough
Walter.
patch. Not 2 weeks. It's working out well.
Walter,
They did look impressive today against a very, very poor Genoa team.
Okay.
Their defense, Genoa's defense, non-existent. It's on par with Roma's defense for how bad it is. And Frey made some big chances. The rest of this game would have been 6-7 nothing.
Did you go see how shaky De Santis is? Like me, if I was a Napoli fan, I'd be shaky. Like, did you see those saves? The rebounds, the this, the that.
He's getting old.
He's getting old, Vince, and they've
Which-
learned to live with De Santis. Zemahi scored again, guys.
Yeah. You know
That's
what?
a good secondary scoring that they're getting because Hamsik, we saw last week, he too missed another penalty shot. Now Cavani misses another penalty shot, but Napoli against Genoa, I'll give them that they were impressive, but
They need a bit more
Still not
consistency
convinced.
after 2 weeks.
Consistency, the real test is next week. Milan Napoli. This is an important game. I bet you Milan gets a call. Can we bet something?
I bet you Mario Balotelli is not going to play because Allegri is too stupid to figure out that he's one yellow away from getting a suspension, and at 2-0 in the 60th minute, he's still running around doing nothing.
Vince, can I take a sip of your beer?
Yeah. You okay?
I need to calm down a bit.
You need
Sorry.
a drink? Want me to go get you some?
All right, let's talk about
You know the grappa that you
the
ordered?
real stuff, guys. Lazio Roma, the derby della Capitale, playing on a Monday.
Monday.
Anyways, Champions League, the big game that everybody was waiting. We're saying this is the top team of Italy against a top team in Germany. Steve and I thought that Juve could really give Bayern a challenge.
Yep.
I think we overrated Juventus.
And who was right?
We
Say it out
overrated
loud.
Bayern. Vince, yes, because you really didn't give Juve a chance. And Juve did not have a chance because the best defense in Europe got cracked within 30 seconds. And they neutralized Pirlo.
I watched that game twice, and actually one time with you guys because you came over to watch the replay. And what we noticed was that Juventus was trying to play their game away from home, and the possession and the 3 defenders.
Out of the back.
And guys, you remember that pressing? And they seemed that they didn't know what to do.
As if they've never seen it.
I said, you know, there's always constant pressure on Pirlo. And I remember from the Euro 2012 game where Pirlo had that great game against Germany, and when they were rising the game, they saw how much space they were giving Pirlo. Pirlo had no space whatsoever.
They took some.
His clearance gave away to the first goal of the game.
Fortunate deflection.
For deflection, but Buffon, I still think, should have had that. I'm sorry from that distance, but everybody has their bad games. I can't really blame Buffon because even at one goal down, 30 seconds in, we have all the time in the world to try
I'll
to get
tell
back.
you who you're gonna blame. I'll tell you. I'm gonna blame Conte.
What?
Finally,
finally
the
been
genius that everybody says Conte is. Chelsea wants him. Top clubs in the world want him. He showed. Steve, you want to explain why that he's not a top coach?
Please, Conte, you start Matri and Quagliarella in a Champions League game away from home. In the midfield, you decide to play Paluzzo
To Mark
on the
Ribery.
same side of Ribery, and you knew that they were gonna focus on Pirlo because he is the brain of Juventus, and you give him zero options up front to hold the ball. Matri can't hold the ball. Neither can Quagliarella. On the bench, you have, I take off my shorts, Vucinic. And you have a Jovinko that could be dynamic in a game. The Germans are not physical.
But
They try to be physical, but they like to keep the ball a lot. Jovinko is made for these games where the play is not physical.
This Bayern
And
team
it-
is not a typical German
No,
team.
it's not.
can we say yes? We like to make fun of like the whole top players and everything, but if we had to go back, if you were Conte,
Yeah.
I understand Anelka hasn't touched the ball, he hasn't played. But if you would have reformatted yourself to a formation where you're trying to play the long ball to get that premier striker to hold the ball, try to get some support, isn't Anelka your
He
better
cannot adjust in the middle of a game. It's
I totally
So
agree.
why don't you put him up?
Number
Anelka,
one,
over
I'm
there?
going to tell you something. Anelka hasn't touched the field. I think he played 5 minutes.
But
this year.
Anelka's like a tourist.
But it doesn't matter because he
He
hasn't
can make a
played. It
difference,
doesn't
guys.
fit in. No, I don't believe in the Anelka.
So Quagliarella and Matri's
No, Puchin should have started. Where Conte lost the game is when they're losing 1-0 and he sees that his guys seem clueless, they're outplayed, they looked out of control, Juve. They were getting dominant and Bayern were missing chances. Conte should have adjusted at that point, keep it 1-0.
No, but Francis, wait. We can only make changes at the 60th minute.
It's ridiculous.
This is unbelievable.
That's where he lost the
Should've
game.
changed- he should've
He
changed
should have tried to
something.
survive that 1-0, went to Turin, and he would have had a good chance. Guys, Bayern, it looked good. Juve was getting
shots?
beaten out wide. He should have changed his formation. Stop with your three in the back. It seems that's the only formation he knows.
Robin missed what? There was
So
2 shots
predictable.
I think it could have been 4 or 5 nothing even in the first
Absolutely.
half.
And I'm going to tell you one thing now. I have Amitabh. Everybody could see that. And I'll go for the Italian teams in here. If Juve beats Bayern Munich, the only people that they have to blame is themselves. They missed a lot of chances, guys.
They do.
They missed a lot. Bayern missed a lot of chances to completely blow away this
This
game.
tie should be over.
This time should be over.
I will say this to all you Juventini fans. I hope the best outcome for yourselves. I, on the other hand, is you
didn't mean that, Vince. You
I
didn't
said
mean
to
that.
them, for them.
Oh,
I wish that to them.
okay.
I'm gonna go for Bayern Munich, and here's the way I look at it. I do not see Bayern Munich being not scoring this game, and on the other hand, I do not see Juventus scoring 3 goals. So Bayern Munich is passing this hands down. For me, hands
If
down.
we rewind the tape, this is looking a lot like Bayern Arsenal.
True.
And
But except Bayern had dominated at Arsenal, it was over at 3-1 down there. Now they did it at home, so there's still something to play for Juventus.
Yeah.
But it's going to be really, really hard. Conte is probably going to play predictable 3-5-2 again, and that's it.
Bayern won the championship yesterday. They're on a high.
And
I'm going to talk about that.
The true anti-Bayern for the Italian team is Inter. Inter plays Bayern, they beat them all the time. Maybe you should call
Even with your
Stramaccioni,
team.
Leonardo, or Mourinho that have beaten Bayern. Okay.
Are you feeling better now?
Actually, yes. And now we're going to talk about PSG and Barca.
Woo!
It was a good game, 2-2. PSG showed some great fighting spirit. And you know what? Credit to Ancelotti. And I'm going to tell you something. Too bad this guy doesn't coach in Serie A. I have a great respect. This guy, 2-3 times in the game, made adjustments to give his team a chance, and the players responded.
and not just little adjustments. These are adjustments where you're taking out top players.
Lavezzi.
You're taking out Lavezzi. You're injecting some youth. You're taking out Pastore. You're putting another guys in the up front or in the midfield. These are big changes.
But what? Because you know what? I think that's what comes out of this game. Because I don't believe PSG for me were very impressive. They took the fight to Barcelona.
They look good.
To me, honestly, they didn't look fantastic.
When's the last time you saw a team really expose the back line on the counter-attack like Barca?
You have Mascherano back there that doesn't know his head from
I'm just
glass.
saying they still have to expose them.
But understand. But I will give credit to Ancelotti before I give credit to the whole team of PSG. To him, to way he's changing the tactics and did the sub that he needed to. He took a chance and it paid off. Good for you, Carletti.
On Twitter, they had Ibrahimovic doesn't show up in big games. Boom, he scored a goal.
Goal, assist.
And assist.
And a bit offside. A bit offside.
But that's another thing. Barca, they went after the game complaining, protest. They don't want to talk about when they robbed Chelsea in 2009. They don't want to talk the second leg against Inter where Mota gets a red card. They don't want to talk about Chelsea again last year that Terry got a red card. That they don't want to talk. They get one questionable call and it's a problem. They actually make an official appeal.
Yeah.
Barca's trying to discuss me too.
Are you
So between Barca and Serie A, oh fuck.
You sure you don't need a drink? You sure you need a drink?
I don't need a drink. I need Pepto-Bismol. But one more thing. Thiago Silva had a fantastic game.
A transvestite, according to
And he answered to Mr. Joey Barton. We're still not sure who he is or where he played or. This guy's a clown, Joey Barton. Good for you, Thiago Silva, for showing. You know what?
Joey Barton,
possibly the best defender in the world.
It's like, you know what, let's put this in Serie A perspective. Joey Barton making these comments about these guys would be like Marco Borriello making fun of Serie A. Like, who the hell are you, Marco Borriello? Who the hell are you, Joey Barton?
You know what's the sad part? Borriello's 10 times better than Barton, so it's even worse.
Yeah.
Elsewhere, Madrid beats Galatasaray 3-0 at home. They look like they were playing at 60% of their capability.
They didn't enforce themselves.
They didn't force. But to be honest, guys, the score does not justify the actual game. Because Galatasaray had a few. They were attacking. They tried, and if they would have had a couple of calls in their favor, maybe a penalty shot, the score could have been different. But clearly, Madrid is way too strong for Galatasaray.
Madrid looks the most impressive of all the teams now.
And not in the, you know what, maybe they did put this focus towards Champions League and not towards La Liga. They have been winning in La Liga, but like you were saying, they didn't look incredible and they still got the job done. No offense to Galatasaray, but they're no Bayern Munich or
Cinderella
Dortmund.
team. There's no more.
Dortmund.
No, Galatasaray.
Oh, that's the poor man's team.
And I'm not sure if Schneider tweeted after the game how great it is to play in Galatasaray and everything, because it was a no-show.
Yeah.
Now, Dortmund played against Malaga in Malaga 0-0, and once again, Malaga survives the first leg. Last time it was at Porto, this time it was at home. I hope Dortmund doesn't get a bite in the ass, because they missed 4, 5, 6 chances. Götze to himself missed 4 clear chances. This thing should be over. I don't think Malaga could do some damage in Germany,
I don't think so.
but this thing should be also over. I can't believe Malaga survived.
Steve.
Malaga. I don't know how they survived, to be very honest with you. Dortmund went there and played their game and tried to get that away goal. Just didn't bounce their way. They're going to have only themselves to blame if they lose this. But in Germany, it's always tough to play. Dortmund's going to be pumped up, and I think they're going to pass.
Yeah, Dortmund for sure.
All right, guys, we'll finish our show with our red cards of the week. Steve, your red card of the week?
My red card of the week goes to the German legend, Beckenbauer.
Bonucci.
No, Beckenbauer. Beckenbauer, World Cup champion, probably one of the top 10 greatest players in the world,
Oh, yeah.
revolutionized the position, decided that just because someone had a bad game, Buffon, which to my knowledge of the game didn't have that much of a bad game, he decided to call him someone who's on pension because he had a bad game. That's fine. You make a comment, I'm all for that. And Buffon, the ultimate professional that he is, answered to him, yes, I did have a bad game. So what does Beckenbauer do? He shows that he has no testicular fortitude. And he comes out and he says, well, I didn't want to offend him. You called him a pensioner. That's 65 years and over in Canada at least. I don't know what it is in Germany. Buffon, who never attacks anybody, is a World Cup champion.
guy.
Class. And Beckenbauer, you showed no class, not only for your comments, but for coming out and then apologizing for the comments that you made.
That was cheap.
You should have just kept your mouth shut. Seriously, they didn't deserve that.
My red card is going to go to the English tabloids. Paolo Di Canio got the job at Sunderland. Just to say, Di Canio was coaching Swindon Town, all right?
Yeah.
So it's not like he just popped up in the picture in England. All of a sudden, they start bringing back stories. Are you a fascist? Do you like dictators? Are you pro Mussolini? Why does this come out now? This has nothing to do with the job or his qualities as a coach. Just to say, Di Canio, you know those UEFA exams for coaches for your license A? He beat the exam with record grades. But yet you bring this back to the table. The guy's been coaching in your country for your past 2 years. What is this?
I get where they're coming from that, but to the other people that saying like, you know, he quit Swindon Town, he didn't accomplish anything.
No, he brought them up.
Yes, I understand, but there's other managers there. There's other managers there that could have had his job, and they went. So I think they did. I think more of a publicity stunt. I hope he does good because his political views and his religious views are his business, and none
That has
nobody
nothing to do with his
else's.
coaching.
As long as he doesn't bring it on the field like he did.
I'll
with
tell you
Barca.
something. They're pissed that there's another Italian coach in the EPL.
You know what? All foreign coaches, they're doing pretty well. Even the coach at Southampton that we're bashing or whatever, because the other coach didn't deserve to get fired to his credit. Pochettino's doing a very good job.
Someone
also.
should tell the EPL that Sir Alex Ferguson is not English, huh? So he's a foreigner too.
And he's looking for a stranger to replace him. A stranger.
We shall see. Stramaccioni.
Anyways, go Vince.
My red card goes to both the EPL and Serie A scheduling their most anticipated weekly games on a Monday. So you got Manchester United, Manchester City tomorrow on a Monday for 3 o'clock, and you got Il Derby della Capitale on a Monday night. I really don't get this one. You got to schedule so many other games on a Monday, even for publicity rights and money. And anyways, I
have to just interject into your thing. EPL usually plays at
Always
least
have a Monday
1 or
game.
2 games on the Monday.
I get it.
So if anybody have to blame it,
But you have 15 games you could pick from. 10
That's
games
not
you
the
could
problem.
pick
It's
from there.
Serie A the
They
problem.
don't care about
EPL
Serie A.
doesn't care about Serie A.
I'm not saying that both of them didn't make any sense. I'm not saying I don't want to watch both games. Both
It's just
leagues,
sad that people won't get to watch Lazio Roma, which is one of the top games in Italy. Anyways, in terms of intensity, on a Monday. You're joking.
Does Totti score tomorrow?
No.
I see, yes. Guys, thank you very much. Keep on tweeting, viewing, sharing. We appreciate it. À la prochaine.
I might not be on the panel next week.
Jesus
He's gonna be here.
Ciao.
Ciao, guys.